Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here. This is episode 2, playing as the Empire of Japan in the Black Ice mod for Hearts of Iron 4. If you did not see episode 1, there's a link in the description below. And if you want to see more from this series, I would appreciate very much if you'd leave a comment and hit a like and subscribe if you haven't already. That will help this channel to grow, but also help get this series to more people. Let's dive right back in. It's January of 1937. We're going to try and get through at least another year of the game, maybe even get into a little bit of 1938. I continue to focus primarily on building my navy, but also on building my infrastructure and my ability to sustain my economy once war does begin. So mostly focusing on oil and steel, which I'm going to need in great quantities to sustain a navy. So Manchukuo has sent a representative to discuss about the matter of Mengjang's transfer. All right, so let's see what this means. We can gain a core. We annex some territory. Yeah, we are definitely going to do that. We'll go ahead and allow that for now. Not entirely sure what all that's going to mean, but obviously this is going to be our first spot of war. We got to do something about supply issues here. We've got some attrition going on in North Korea, so I'm going to go ahead and probably move some of these units back to Japan for now. We'll reassign them to my garrison, and we'll see if that alleviates the attrition situation. There's the purge in the Soviet Union. We knew that was coming. It always does. And now we're going to continue focusing on industry as far as my research goes. This is going to hurt stability, but I have actually something to deal with that. In fact, let's go ahead and go take a look at that real quick. Over here in decisions, there's a decision that will help with my stability issues. Where is it? It's right here. Focus on the people's problems. It's going to hurt my political power gain for 70 days, but it's also going to give me 7 weeks or 10 weeks of stability, so it's going to gain that 10% that I otherwise might lose. All right, one more thing here. Let's continue to focus on industry. What do we got over here? Fuel storage. I'm not too worried about storage right now, though that's probably going to be a thing. Let's do this. This is fuel gain per oil. That'll help me gain fuel faster. All right. Okay, so we're almost at the end of January, and I just completed another extra research slot. What I'm going to focus on now is over here, and this is going to allow me to add some more civilian factories, some more naval dockyards, some more military factories, and all of that is consistent with my goal of continuing to grow my infrastructure so that I can carry this long term once a war does break out. I've been listening to the advice of some of you who have said, hey, maybe getting involved in a war with the Soviets is not the best idea because it's a big land war over a lot of territory. Maybe I'm better off to focus on the Navy and just go a traditional route and take on the Allied powers. So, you know what? I haven't decided yet, but I can see the wisdom in that, and I can see why I might go that direction. But we'll see what happens. In the meantime, let's take a look at the research that I have currently going on here. Military production's going to hurt my stability a little bit, but it's going to give me factory output and dockyard output bonuses. I've got turbojet theories, which is going to give me my jet technology. Fuel refining is going to improve the gain of fuel per oil. Also gain from refineries. Working on my carrier primacy. That's going to start helping with my Navy. I'm going to pause for a second because I got to deal with those naval dockyards. Catalytic cracking is going to also give me fuel gain per oil. Atomic research, of course, and now we've got civilian works, which is going to give me a weekly stability bonus, which will offset the stability that I lose from some of the other things that are happening. Actually, my stability is at 59% and rising right now, so that's good. We've got free dockyards. So we're going to look at, honestly, I'm just going to max out my existing building of ships before I start building new ones. I don't think we want to have a forever thread of Yamato battleships, but all right, that'll do for now. Going to look at some options as far as my government and policies go that can help speed things along, because I've got a decent amount of political power right now. Basic bonds is one, and what that's going to do is that's going to give me some bonuses to military factories and dockyard construction speed, as far as also output. So that's something I want to consider, but not yet, because it does hurt my civilian factory construction speed. All right, looks like we're maxed out on all of those, so let's go ahead and add another ship. How many carriers do I have? I got a couple of Soryu class carriers already going, so I think we're going to focus on some traditional battleships. Let's maybe build a few of those. And I'm not going to worry too much about deploy targets, because I can deal with that later. Anyway, let's look at decisions some more. Or not decisions, but laws and government. There's not a lot of options I have right now as far as what I can do. The high tariffs are hurting my production, but they help with my dockyard output, it seems. If we go to extreme tariffs, it's going to help even more with the output and construction speed, but it's going to hurt production efficiency. So if I did make that change, it would probably only be a temporary one while I build my things. But I think I'm just going to hold off. I don't want to do anything drastic. So our national focus continues down the road to add more and more factories to our base. We're going to add 2 military, 2 civilian over here. It's only going to take 35 days. And just looking at current research, you can see military production still going. We've completed a few things, including some things related to industry, but I've got a lot more still working on. As I build more and more ships at the same time, which I've got destroyers going, battleships, battle cruisers, a bunch of carriers going at the same time, super heavy battleship, the Yamato, which I don't think hit the seas until much later in the war historically. We've got some heavy cruisers, light carriers, and a battle cruiser. So that's about it. But it's taking more and more steel to do all of that. So I'm having to use more and more of my industry to make that happen. And even with, I've only got 8 available civilian factories, and I've got a deficit of 22 steel. So I'm trying to keep some civilian factories working on building these steel mills just to help with that output a little bit, to help me in the long run. But eventually I'm just going to have to keep trading for those things. Stability's right back down to 57%, but it's tolerable. And you can see that moving those 6 divisions out of North Korea did help with the attrition factor. There's no longer an issue with attrition. We're into May of 1937. There have been no world events so far in 1937. It's been pretty quiet. Oh, and just like that, there's the Hindenburg disaster. Oh, the humanity. Doesn't really affect things on the world stage at all, but just one of those little events of history. So I've gone ahead and made a decision that it's time to go to war. Not because I really want to, but because I need some resources that I don't currently have. And the best place I found to do that is down here. They've got a lot of steel, a lot of tungsten, some chromium available. Those are all things that are going to help with my future war effort. And so all of China has basically joined into a faction, all these different parts of China. And so I'm going to basically have to take on all of them to do that. So I've gone ahead and joined a faction with Germany. So that's kind of where things stand now. Things are going to start getting really interesting really quickly. And I've got to do some research. I'm going to go ahead and choose battlefield support for my air doctrine. And we're going to start moving air power into the region. I've got some there already. And start preparing for a war. It's going to be a couple of months, so it'll probably be in the early part of 1938 before this takes place. But I've got an army group with 38 divisions in these 2 units here that are going to be making that happen. So as we prepare for war, which will happen right around the first of the year, I'm working on Purge the Militarists, which is going to give Manchukuo a national spirit of militarism, It's going to boost war support. It's going to hurt research speed a little bit, but it's going to help my justify war goal time and mobilization laws. But mainly I'm doing that because I'm trying to work my way down this tree here to where I can get to rekindle the old alliance. But that would require me to have a democratic type of government, so that's probably not going to happen. The West Pacific Treaty Organization is something that will allow me to create my own faction. I don't know if that'll happen. But that opens up a lot of options down the road here. So right now I'm just trying to get that far. And then I'm going to get this huge stability boost by getting the Showa Constitution, which I can't get until I do these couple of things over here. So we're working on that. We're about a month away from war. I've got a small naval invasion ready to go down here. I don't know whether or not I'll launch that with just those 4 divisions. I'm going to wait and see what happens once I launch the attack up here, because I'm going to be outnumbered. But I'm feeling like I can make up that difference with my air power and my naval superiority. So we'll see. Okay, let's do this. I may be biting off more than I can chew right now, but we're gonna do it anyway. All right, where's my? There we go. We may call our allies to this one. Yeah, let's definitely do that. Manchukuo, come on in. Help me out here, since this is primarily on your turf. Germany's in too. Alright. So first things first, we're getting a Lend-Lease from Manchukuo. We've got air wings with no mission, so we've got to go ahead and assign all of that stuff. So I'll get all that sorted out, but the main thing I want to see right now is how well we do. Yeah, as these countries join in the war, then that allows me to jump in. I was counting on the fact that even though I was only declaring war on this country here, that this one, the Republic of China, would jump in, and that would allow me to start marching down through their territory, which is what I'm going to do now. Lend-Lease from the German Reich, that'll help. Let's go ahead and take a look just real quick at where things are going to stand on this, because I expect that there are going to be mad amounts of units on his side. Yeah, actually things are pretty even right now, but a lot of that's because of the German Reich and their ability to make war. I'm going to count on my superior technology and abilities, because I'm certainly going to be outnumbered. Alright, here comes the naval invasion. I don't know how well this is going to go. More countries jumping in. Looks like the landing itself should go fairly well. The question, of course, will be what happens after that. In the meantime, I think we're going to start focusing now on military technologies so I can improve the advantage I have over them. Let's see where this is at now. Okay, still fairly even, so I feel good about that. And no losses on my side yet. The main thing I'm worried about is when I do land, whether or not supply is going to be an issue here, because I'm going to have to rush some more units into that area. You know, I'm going to go ahead and just assign these units to that army down there. Alright, things aren't going real well here, but that's really not my intention. I really didn't even care to attack these guys. It's just a means to an end. Now that we're at war, we can make some changes here, including we're going to go to general mobilization instead of limited mobilization. We can't do wartime domestic loans yet. That's okay. I'm looking to see what else there might be that we're able to do that are going to help. We're on economy policy. We're not at a high enough world tension for that yet. We can go to partial mobilization. Things aren't going great up there. That's okay. I mainly want to get a toehold down here. And once I do that, then we can worry about the rest. Communist threat defeated. Okay. There are no communists left in our country. Or so it seems. Alright, we're about to get our landing. There we go. Now we gotta push out from here. So we've got an offensive line. Maybe. Okay, maybe not. Oh, we need a front line. That's what it is. There we go. Now we draw an offensive line. Let's break out. Let's take some territory. Get the rest of our troops over there. And start pushing. So I didn't realize, I guess I should have paid more attention to this. This preemptive coup, national focus, actually starts a civil war. So we are not going to do that. In fact, we're going to go ahead and start focusing on the military for a little while here. Just because that's definitely going to be a need. So let's go Army Expansion Law and start working down that path. In the meantime, things are actually starting to look a little bit better up here. Let's get our... Oh, we do have everybody doing what they need to. Perfect. So we're starting to have some success in the north. Same in the south. Things are, at least for the moment, going well. We're going to try to break out and give ourselves a little bit of room here. I need to start ramping up the production of new military units a lot faster than I currently am. So we're going to start doing that so we can get some more units in the field. I've got plenty of manpower, but I need those troops so I can start overcoming the difference in manpower a little bit. So far, losses are about 4-1, which is good since we have even odds. Hopefully that continues. Alright, we're going to spend some of these points on military high command. Let's get our infantry division attack bonuses up. That's going to be huge for me right now. Also, let's see what else we can do that'll make a difference. The carriers, I mean, that would help, but right now I don't think that's necessary. We're going to get this bonus for division attrition. I think that's going to help too. So let's see how things stand right now. We really need to break out, and it looks like we're making progress on doing that. I'll feel a lot better once I've got maybe 7 or 8 provinces here, so that I don't have to worry about that army being destroyed. And all of my additional new units that are coming into the field, it looks like we've got a few more. We're going to send them all there, at least until we max that out. Got some free military factories, so we'll start start giving them orders here soon. Alright, rush those bad boys down there. I've got my navy here protecting things as they go along. Taking 2 provinces here, I'd really like to push down through these mountains. Start making some progress. Right now, we've only lost 2,500 men. We've inflicted 13,000 casualties. The problem, of course, is that this is China. And so they've probably got 8 or 9 million at minimum in their manpower, if not a whole lot more than that. Alright, Germany's getting its war on pretty soon here. They have just gone ahead and annexed Austria, the Anschluss. So that's their first step. Next will come the Sudetenland, which is part of Czechoslovakia. They're going to start gobbling up that territory, just as I am doing here with my 18 divisions. So we're making slow but steady progress. I'm going to keep on working on upgrading my equipment. Let's look at Army support units for a second. Alright, here's the situation. I've now lost 6,000 men, but have inflicted 22,000 casualties, so it's about 3-1. And it looks like actually he's lost some men. I don't know what's happened there, but maybe just my information got more accurate. Okay, well, it looks like we're stalled a little bit at the moment there. I need to get my air power in a better position to help out. It's not there yet, but we're making some progress up here in the mountains. Well, this is a bit of a problem. Looks like we've got strikes in our factories, which means a bunch of my trade things have just gotten messed up. Let's take a look. Spend the max political power. Let's do that. FIFA World Cup. Hey, Italy retained the championship. Good for them. So we're starting to make progress in the north. I've been sending a lot of divisions that way. The nice thing is because I've kind of got this big disparity between the northern front and the southern front. It's not easy for China to send units from one to the other, and most of the units I'm facing down here are from the Republic of China. So while I'm kind of stuck there, it's at least occupying some of his units while I come in from the north. I've just sent 9 more divisions that hit the field up into there, and I feel at some point I'll probably get a breakout. It looks like maybe it's already happening, but the attrition's terrible. Right now it's at 12%. It was as high as almost 40% when it was really hot. Oh, we've got an experienced general. Hasn't seen action in months. Oh, that's not good. But you can see the attrition. So we're gonna keep going here for a little bit longer, and then I think we'll wrap things up before we really go crazy in the next episode, which is where I'm sure World War II will fully break out. Be interesting to see what happens at that point. All right, France and Britain have announced an alliance. Obviously, that doesn't bode well for mine, but we're going to purchase some weapons from the United States there. Casualties are at about 5 to 1 right now. My side's lost 18,000. The enemy has lost over 100,000. Things are static down here in the south, but we continue to make progress in the north, and I'm working hard on researching technologies that are going to improve, like there, not only improve my military, but also improve my ability to withstand things like attrition. So we're focusing really heavily on the military right now. I'm going to start working on new planes as well. So you can see small arms workshops, enfilade MG fire, transportation improvements, all things that are going to improve. Improved infantry weapons 1, that's something I should have done a long time ago. All of those things are going to help. We've got some outdated equipment as well. There we go. All right, the Spanish Civil War is over, and the Munich Agreement has happened, so we've got the Sudetenland going to the Germans, so we're one step closer. We're now 20% world tension, so it's going to start getting ugly soon. I'm slowly but surely making my way over, trying to get some things happening here. We'll take this to the end of 1938, and then we'll wrap it up right there. We've reached January of 1939. I'm starting to break out a little bit in the south. He just doesn't have that many units. It's just really a matter of surrounding and destroying them. I do have some additional divisions that are just about to land. As you can see, in fact, we'll go ahead and let them land as I'm kind of wrapping this up. And of course, supply and attrition are always going to be issues until I can take some more bases of supply. So I'm right at the edge on these 2 areas that I really need to take that'll help with my supply issues. So once we get those, that'll help a lot. Looks like we're kind of making some progress in the north, but man, it's just a slow go. I've only lost about 25,000 men, so my army's getting steadily bigger. I've currently got, looks like 2.6 million in the field. Well, 1.5 million in the field, another million available, and lots of options as far as how I can raise that manpower up some more. I've got to work on my stability. A lot to do. My first time playing Japan, so I'm going to make a ton of mistakes along the way. But thanks for watching, and please leave a comment, and we will see you again in a few days with another episode.